I'm Gemma Bunner from Lawyer and Accredited Legal, and today I want to break down some legal concepts around negligence and personal injury claims. I'm going to use these three glasses to do it. Now, this is very general advice and very simplistic in an explanation around how negligence claims work and what we need to look for as lawyers when considering if a client has a common law or a negligence claim. It's also important to let you know that each scheme within New South Wales is different and some have particular thresholds that must be met. I'm not going to go into those details in this video. I'm just going to try to break it down and explain the general concept in a really simplistic way. So we have two buckets, or for today's purposes, we have two glasses. One is negligence and one is serious injury. Let's call that legally serious injury. Now, we need a little bit of both to make a common law claim. So we need to be able to show firstly that there is some negligence in the way that the event occurred. So something has happened that shouldn't have happened. I'm going to use the example of a coal mining workers' compensation claim. So there was a faulty piece of plant equipment. The employer knew about the fault, it had been reported, nothing had been done about it, and as a result of the fault in that plant equipment, someone sustained an injury. So we've got a good amount of negligence there. But what we also need is injury, and one that is more than a minor injury, that it's legally serious and it crosses a threshold. So we need to be able to prove that the person sustained a serious injury as a result of the negligence. And if we've got a bit in both of those buckets, then that sort of forms the basis of a reasonable common law claim or a claim for damages. Now, let's leave that to the side. Sometimes we might have a bucket load of negligence, that it's really clear cut that something went wrong, that there was a problem, that the employer knew about it, again using a workers' compensation example, that there was a chain of events that something went terribly wrong and it shouldn't have, it was preventable, was reasonably foreseeable that an injury could occur if certain steps weren't taken. So we've got a bucket load of negligence. But at times the injury, thankfully the person has come away and been fairly unscathed and there's no injury. So in a case like that, there's no common law claim. On the flip side of that, sometimes we have a really serious injury and it can at times be catastrophic, but it's really hard to show the negligence. We can't quite pinpoint what went wrong to cause it to happen. It may be that unfortunately it was a chain of events that was simply an accident, it wasn't preventable, it wasn't within the employer's control to prevent it from happening. So we have a legally serious injury, a really serious catastrophic injury, but it's hard to pinpoint the negligence. And again, that doesn't make for a common law claim. It's very difficult. So again, in a really simplistic sense, we need a bit of both. We need to be able to show that there's negligence, and we need to be able to show that the person has sustained a serious injury as a result of that negligence. Now, as I mentioned earlier, different schemes have different concepts of what a serious injury is, and often there's thresholds in place. So, for example, in New South Wales workers' compensation, you need at least a 15% whole person impairment. In the motor vehicle accidents scheme in New South Wales, for a common law claim for damages, you need greater than 10% whole person impairment. So there are some examples around the different thresholds that need to be met. I emphasize as well, this is a really simplistic breakdown. There are a number of other concepts around duty of care and reasonable foreseeability and causation, whether that negligent act has caused the injury. There's a whole myriad of things that we need to look at. But in a really simplistic sense, hopefully that sort of breaks down some of those concepts for you. But if you have any questions or you need any legal advice, feel free to reach out to the team at Lawyer and Accredited Legal.